They give a bitch 2 options, stripping or lose. I used to dance at the club right across from my school. I said dance, not fuck, don't get it confused. I had to set the bitches straight cause bitches love to assume. Mama couldn't get it to me, had to get it as Sue's. Lord only knows how I got in the shoes. I was covered in dollars, now I'm dripping in jewels. A bitch play with my money, might as well spit in my food. Bitches hated my guts, now they say we was cool. Went from making tuna sandwiches to making the news. Started speaking my mind and tripled my views. Real bitch, I ain't even got fake boobs.
That was, I do though. I thought that was so fucking divine because I spent 5 minutes trying to get that song on just for the remote to fall, turn that shit off and make you go a cappella. So the divine is like, yes bitch, yes, it's time for you to be heard. It's time for you to be heard. Yes, it's a reunion. It is a reunion. Yay. I got Lux ATL here in bed with me and I felt like, I felt Maya Angelou today, and like that time her and Oprah got in bed with each other, and it was so funny. Right before you pulled up, something about Maya Angelou popped up on my timeline, and I was like, that time they got into bed with each other and they was just vulnerable and they was intimate and they was just talking about some real shit. I was like, who else to do that shit with you but my sister who was on her way here? So I was like, let's get on, let's talk about some real shit. I really feel like we should like reintroduce ourselves. Last year we did a video together. It was Lux ATL and the Trap Witch, but I really think we're at this point in our journey while we're reintroducing ourselves. Lindsay Byron, yes, Tatiana Skroskis, because I really feel like sometimes we come to a point in our path where we have to reintroduce ourselves, and we're both going through a wonderful time in our lives of rebirth, reclamation of our inner child, remembering who we were before we went through certain things in our life that molded us, built us for the better. And I think Atlanta, you know, I love Atlanta so much because I was like, Atlanta built a bad bitch, and I really think Atlanta built a bad bitch in you too. And there's a reason why we came together along this path in this city in the South to bring back empowerment to women, because this is a city you could get lost in the sauce real easily. Yep. We've been lost in the sauce. Yep. We've been in some toxic ass environments, situations that if we had not been in Atlanta, we probably would have been in that shit. For sure. But you know what Gucci once said? If a man don't have no sauce, he is lost, but you can get lost in the sauce. You right. So we done got lost in the sauce and reclaimed our sauce from it. Yes, absolutely. And you know what, you're right, it is a reunion. We were together about a year ago, and if you've seen that video, you will notice that both of us looked a lot different too. Oh yeah. I mean, we were stunting. Well, first of all, we're gonna keep it real. She got me high. I did. I was high. I was high in that video. We were, you know, but you know what's beautiful about it? We're already such high vibe women, and that day we were still in a lot of the things I think that we were working out within the relationship with ourselves. We still really had an identity with who we were shedding. Yes. We've both been in the adult industry. It built us into some beautiful powerhouse women who are bold and unapologetic about sexuality. But regardless of 30-inch green bundles down to my ass, regardless if my titties are out, she's shaking ass, we are still powerhouse women because of the raw sexuality. And you know, shout out to homegirl Lilith that empowers us to own our sexuality in a way that's conducive to empowering and healing women to not be ashamed and not have stigma about where they've gone through, or what they've had to endure, and who they had to become for survival, but also to learn to love themselves. True. And you know, I think that so many of us have gone through so many phases of wearing masks, and as we've been talking about a lot today, wearing costumes. And you know, as you said, you know, with the costume does come, it can be used and it can be a tool, but so many of us just get lost in the costume. We just get lost in the green wigs and the crazy glasses and the shaking the ass, and we think, oh well, when I wear this mask, then I know that I get these eyes on me, and I get this feeling like I'm worthy that I've been seeking, and I'm getting this feeling that I'm worthy because I suppose I'm pleasing these people with this mask that I'm wearing. And so we often become addicted to that mask. And I know that I've been down that road, you know, where I felt that just for example, with my looks, I felt that it was very important. Like, I would never have been on a video without a fucking weave in my head, for example, because I don't have big hair, you know? I would have not. Girl, give me some of this weave. Listen. Girl, it's still a wig, listen.
you know? But for me, you know, I felt that I had to, you know, present a certain way, including not only the shit I put on my face, but the clothing that I would wear and the way I would present myself. And to this day, I'll tell you, I do still struggle with that.
Performance anxiety.
Indeed. And I do still struggle believing that if I don't put on this luxe ATL, that I have been affirmed by the world that is attractive, then nobody's going to give a shit about what I have to say. But, you know, in recent times, and I will say, you know, I have been influenced by you and I have been inspired by you because I have seen the change. In recent times, I've been thinking, you know what? How about I just give these people who I am as stripped down and vulnerable and honest as I can possibly muster, even with the fucking pimple on my face. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, I'm broke out right now.
Yeah,
too.
for real.
Who gives a fuck?
Really?
You know, and I think that's the thing, like, that's performance anxiety again, right? Like, I can't show up because my face looks fucked up right now. I can't show up because I got a little cellulite on my ass. I can't show up to experience life and be an impact on life unless I perform a certain way, and that's such bullshit.
Absolutely.
And what's happening is creating this performance where all the characters begin to look the same, act the same way, show up the same way. And if everybody's acting, performing, and looking the same way, what makes the world beautiful is the uniqueness, the individuality, the flavors, the mixtures that create something beautiful. Because, you know, it's a real shit. God took 7 days, they say, to create the world, and every day there was some beautiful individual thing that was added to it to make it something extraordinary. And so a lot of times I don't like being a basic bitch. I think that what's beautiful about each one of us is each one of us has something that's extra and it's beyond the ordinary that we add to society. So, you know, Lindsay is from Virginia.
Yes.
I'm from the Cayman Islands. I'm a transplant here in the South. She was raised in the South, and we can still find similarities, but we also embrace our differences.
Indeed.
You know, and it's what has taught us to learn from each other, regardless of even me being in that industry for so long that I was in. I still had so much insecurity. So when I looked at someone like her, she gave me confidence and still where I was lacking. But then she can look at me and there's something that I bring out. And that's the beauty of understanding that some of the people that teach us the most things about our inner child and learning the relationship harmony that we need to with ourselves, it helps us just focus our attentions on what we desire instead of putting ourselves in the same toxicity of what we think on a superficial level is supposed to be what we're supposed to be about.
Yes, because when we do that and when we are so focused on who we think we're supposed to be in this box that the world has given us and that we have then embraced. You see, the world will give us this box and this template and say, this is who you're allowed to be. And so often we'll say, yes, world, this is, I accept your answer and I'm going to be this. And when we do that and we simply accept that box, then what we do is we shrink to fit it. And when we only allow ourselves to be this mask that we're wearing, we allow all of this that we're afraid to show, which is the real shit that actually helps people. This is the real shit that
because
actually
look, at the end of the day, whether we, you know, when we have a partner, right? At the end of the day, this is exactly where we go to with them every night. And this is what we lay beside. And there's a lot of people good at even masking themselves in that. Some of the scariest shit I ever saw was being in the adult industry and the average motherfucker that looks like they have it all, the American dream. I felt so bad because the wife that they had didn't know that they were sleeping with a monster because of the mask that they put up that looked like just like everybody else's face.
Right. Right.
And when you go to bed at night, you lay your head on this pillow, you lay your head down, you have to be able to sleep with yourself. And a lot of times where people have anxiety, they can't sleep, even in their waking lives. I have to educate people that the spirit of unrest doesn't mean that you can't sleep at night, but even in your waking life you have anxiety and you have unrest, and some of these things that we have, like these performance anxiety, it's because we have the spirit of unrest and doubt around us.
That's it. We have this spirit of unrest and doubt because we are trying to be good enough for a template that is not who we are. And when we shrink ourselves to only fit this template of who we think we're supposed to be, then we limit our opportunities for growth, you see. Just like you was saying, you know, you got something from me and I got something from you. Now, I'll give you what I think is you know, I know that when I saw you, and when I got to know you, and when I started following your teachings, I was coming from this world where I had become, you know, famous as a stripper. And that's what I thought. That's what people want. So I need to make sexy dance videos, and I need to pole dance, and that's what people want. But I had this message in my heart, and I had this teacher in my heart that I wanted to share. And then I saw you out there, and I saw you being real with where you came from, with your past, but yet you are still out there preaching just from the heart, and like moving all kinds, tens of thousands of people you was out there moving, and to continue to today. And when I saw that, that was inspiration for me to say, you know what, bitch, you can shake your ass, and that's cool, because that's all. I'm never gonna motherfucking quit shaking my ass. I'll be 90 years old and the ass is still gonna be shaking. But that was eye opener for me, because I thought, you know what, this is something that I could be too. And I was only able to see that when I allowed myself to envision identity and a life for myself beyond this box that I had already put myself in. Now, normally I wouldn't even engage with the stuff you were slinging, especially at that time in my life. I was so deeply skeptical, deeply atheist. But something, when I saw you, something told me, let me just tune in and pay attention. And I'm so glad I did, because only through that was I able to grow to something different. And who knows what I'll be in 5 years.
And what I love is I'm a plug her real quick in this video, because I have the book here, Hadia Barbell. Okay, this is her book. It's called What If You Just Turned Your Magic All the Way the Fuck On. And so we pulled open and we divined what it is that we wanted to share from her book in this message. And I want to shout out Hadia, because Hadia was the first person to give me an opportunity to speak publicly, and I'm going to get emotional, in front of a group of women in Atlanta after my retirement from the industry. And there were so many people trying to stop me from speaking in that space, because they said I wasn't worthy to be in that space empowering women because of my past. When there are so many people who use sexuality in such succubi energetic ways to capitalize on people, when they've never been those people who have had to do it for survival.
Yeah.
And it's changed our lives, built us into the bitches that we are. You know, it's knocked us down a few times, but I shout her out for giving me that opportunity, because she had faith in me. And I look at Lindsay and I have faith in her as she has faith in me. And I think at times we need our sisters to say, you know what, sis, it's okay. That's where you came from, but that's not where you're going. And wherever I've been, I can share. Wherever she's been, we can share. And what we have to just understand, we have to understand where you're going, I'm going.
Yes.
It's the end goal. Where are we all going together?
Yes. Right.
And so what Hadia's book, what we pulled open to, says, your journey is not the same as mine, and my journey is not the same as yours, but we can meet on a certain path and encourage each other along the way. Let's meet somewhere along the way. Our paths may be different, and the roads we take may split in different directions. What we can both agree on is that we are on a journey, a life journey, seeking, discovering, and exploring. We may not agree on the same, ooh, damn, I'm emotional today, girl. We may not agree on the same walk of life, but we were never meant to agree. We were never meant to be forced or controlled. We were meant to choose and explore that choice. So many want to condemn another for their choices and are wishing others to agree with their way and fit into their box. What did you just say? Things would flow so much easier if we stopped trying to force our beliefs and opinions on others and just allow them to flow according to what feels good to them.
Ooh, that woman been saying everything we've been saying today.
Girl, we may not agree, but we can still share the most powerful emotion that exists, which is love. This is the core root and the seed to acceptance of self. And this is so powerful, because we didn't read this before we got on video. We just pulled open and we saw the title of that page, right here. We see it. But what's beautiful about that too is that last year when Lindsay and I did a video, right, at that point in her life, she identified as an atheist. And I remember something so beautiful, and you said it at the end of the video. You said, if I ever get my cards read, if I ever get into some shit like that, it's gonna be through you.
Yeah.
and I remember starting to share angel numbers with her or synchronicities, and she was like, dope. I wasn't trying to impose it on her, but I was just like, let me just share it with her. Whatever she takes from it, she takes from it. And it's so beautiful. Like, she was talking today about the synchronicities of 444 and all these things that she's adapted. I just shared that with her. I just shared my space. I just shared my love with her and how I appreciate her. And she welcomed me into her home and into her space. And that's what I can do now too, is still welcome her into my home, and we can hold sacred space for each other. Because at the end of the day, sacred space, like, to me, church is not a place. Church is a people. And anytime you find God or spirit and love within yourself, you become a safe haven from other people. So right now, we like two churches sitting right next to each other. We're like visiting each other, like, oh, we having a guest speaker today, right? So come on into my home and my temple. What God got to say through you today?
Yes.
And one thing I want you to understand is, don't get fucked up missing the message by judging the messengers. Because one thing I had to get over with myself, and I see that with you saying that as well, is that we will judge ourselves because we think people are going to miss the message because they're judging the message.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter, because you just got to speak up and have that relationship with yourself and take yourself out of the harmful relationship that you have with that perception of yourself, and just still fucking speak your truth.
Speak your truth. And when other people are speaking theirs, dare to drop the judgment that you want to hold on their identity, the words that they're choosing to use, the framework that they're choosing to understand the world in, and instead choose to open your motherfucking heart and take the love and accept the love in whatever language that this person is given to you. Because, you know, previously, as she said, you know, I was deeply atheist, and, you know, in many ways I still am, okay? I am in many ways. But nonetheless, I understood at the heart of the message, this is just a sister trying to love another sister. And why say no to that just because it's something that I don't understand or a method that I don't currently use? And when I was able to open my heart, which is something I've had a hard time with in my past, you know, I became very hard.
Me too.
Very hard. And took a lot of pride in just how hard I was. That's one of my major points of pride. But when I had the bravery to put down the shield and to lay down the sword and put my chest bare to the love that could come my way, then I was truly able to grow myself, make my energy and my love bigger, instead of shrinking myself in fear and judgment.
Oh, that's a word. You know, and that's the thing. One of the things that I always feel is important about duality, because I mean, there's still ways where that hard ass bitch serves
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants that pit bull on their team, that soldier on their team. It serves a purpose. But one of my most favorite quotes is, being soft yet strong is a skill not often mastered. You know, so knowing when to, like you said, put down that sword and let people in, and knowing when to put your boundaries, have, you know, because you still got to have discernment, because it's important to know. But that's why it's important to know where you're going, what your intentions are, what's good for your spirit and what's for your soul. Because again, there's a lot of things that come into our realm that look like us, that act like us from the outside, say all the nice things, but it's not for us.
Yes.
And that's what's dangerous about spirituality, is that sometimes devils and temptations and things come wrapped in all that we've ever desired.
Yes.
And that's why often we get so caught up in the superficialness of love. But if we don't love ourselves, we don't know what we need within ourselves, we can't give it to ourselves, we'll find that, and we'll try to search for that in everything else.
Yes.
You know, I've searched for it in toxic relationships. I'm sure you have too. But getting to know yourself and accepting yourself, once you accept yourself and that love that you have to give, you will begin to start being open to so much more love from the outside, because you trust yourself.
That's right. And you will also begin to be able to lay down that mask and quit constantly performing. Because, you know, a message, you know, I'm just going to leave y'all with this, a message that I really want to give to a lot of y'all women out there today, and indeed the men too, is I know that you think that you are uniquely awful and that you need to bury and hide all of this shameful, dark stuff. I want to tell you, my friend, that most of the shit that you won't forgive yourself for, you would have forgave somebody else for a long time ago. And that's the motherfucking truth, ain't it? It is.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you that even these things that you can't forgive yourself for, my friend, having the bravery to lay those bare for the world to see is a true gift, because while you're out there thinking you're uniquely awful, there is millions and billions of people thinking that they are uniquely awful as well. So you don't have to be beautiful, and I don't mean just physically. You don't have to present this perfect image. That is not going to help a soul. What you actually really are, that is the real shit that moves, compels, and changes people. So it's okay if Lindsay doesn't sound as cool as Lux ATL. It's okay if Tatiana isn't as catchy a brand as the Trap Witch. These women that we really are, by the way, they were always in Lux ATL, and they were always in the Trap Witch. And in fact, the Lux ATL and the Trap Witch is in Tatiana and Lindsay too. And we can show all of this in its complexity, messiness, and honesty, and not be ashamed and not be afraid. So if you're waiting for permission just to show the fuck up as the person you are, this is it.
You know, and we both created Lux and Trap Witch to protect our little girls.
Indeed.
You know, that's the side of our shadow that has bossed up to protect us for a long time.
God, yes.
But now the inner child, the little girls, want to come out and play. And that's okay. Because you get to start over again and again, and you get to wipe the slate clean, and you get to do what's good for your soul.
Absolutely.
And what's always been good for it.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm feeling this message so much. I'm feeling this.
I mean, I just feel so at peace. You know what's funny? Like the other day, one of my friends like said, like, when you feel like, sometimes when you really feel love, it's not that like excitement. Like it's like
Yes.
that exhale and like groundedness,
Yeah.
and just feeling like
I
we're
can
here.
rest.
Like my heart feels like on a level. You know, I don't know how you feel. Like I just feel like,
you know what? I tell you truly, it has been a true pleasure spending this afternoon with you. But this exact conversation that we just had, truly for me, just got to the heart of like so much that I needed to hear. And it's just, the spirit is just coming down, coming through. I accept it. And I'm so grateful and so filled with gratitude and love and respect for you, my friend. And yes, ooh, I truly do. I
love
truly do.
that's my bitch. Y'all.
Yes.
That's my dog.
We out here.
That's the dog. You know, like, that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like in all spaces now, like, I understand creating these spaces for specific, you know, groups of women, but we're at this point where we have to share our hearts, we have to share our stories, because we don't realize how much similarities in the things that we've gone through. I mean, regardless of demographic, there are many people, there's many women with many triggering stories and traumas that can share on that heart space, and we just got to get to that level. But we got to get past the judgments, we got to get past the masks, we got to get past the discrimination, and just hear each other out and give each other the space to say that shit and to feel that shit and be okay. Like, you don't agree, you don't agree.
That's fine.
No.
Yes.
You know, like, we meeting at the crossroads now. Like, hey, Lindsay, you went down that street down
Yes.
there? I'm thinking about going there. You're like, you know what? I don't fuck with that street down
Right.
there, but Tatiana, go knock yourself out.
I'll see you in 30 minutes.
It might be a different experience for you.
Right.
So, you know, just getting to this point and creating this space today, even just to share this video, I hope that it inspires more women to have these conversations, to be inspired by women who are not always like them.
Yeah.
Outwardly, or it might be inwardly. You know, there's always something that someone can teach you about yourself, even the things that they trigger within you. So we just wanted to hop on and give y'all an update because a lot of y'all fucked with that video the long way.
Absolutely.
There's a lot more that's gonna come from us.
Yes.
But this is just something we had to, you know, because you know that part of the video that we were talking about crumbs last year, girl. That shit was a hit. That 1 minute, you know. So look, I think last year too, still we were selling for crumbs in our own ways in some aspects. Whether it be on a social platform, the way we present ourselves or whatever have you. We're not selling for crumbs, you know. There's a quote that's been circulating this past week and I fucking love it, and it says, stop breaking yourself down into bite-sized pieces. Let motherfuckers choke. So if you're going through performance anxiety and putting up the mask because you feel like people can't digest or hold space for all of, like, let them, you know what, they not for you, let the motherfuckers choke, because the essence that you are in the most potent that you can be, in the most pure you can be, it's going to be very strong. It's going to be too much for a lot of people, but they're just not your people, and there's going to be people who exactly and accept you exactly the way you are, and I feel like that's what we found within each other. So I love this shit. We about to bring some, I feel like we're gonna bring some great shit to Atlanta soon. So if you are some of our Atlanta, I let A-Town down, shawty, what's up? You know, like, if you are some of our Atlanta crew, please drop us some love in the comments. Give us some input on what you would like from us. You know, I don't usually give a fuck what people like from us, but I would like to know what inspired you from this. What kind of stuff would you like to see bring to our hood, to our community? Because I know we got a lot of people out here. We were talking about sex work earlier. We got a lot of strippers. We got a lot of dancers out here. People trying to transition, take down the mask, take off the bundles, take off the lashes, and just accept it. I just feel like we about to do some real shit in that community. And even if you're not,
we are here for you.
And even if you're not in that community and you want to learn something about expressing your sacred sexuality, exploring your uniqueness, your boldness, your voice, fuck with us too.
Yep, we got you.
We can still teach you something.
We got you.
We can all teach each other something.
We got you.
We send you guys lots of love from the A, from the dirty South.
Yes.
Wherever you are in the world, we hope that you feel this love coming from our heart space today to yours. And Lux_ATL.
Yep.
The Trap Witch. Shout us out, y'all.
See you on the internet. Bye.